Today, I'm gonna be showing you how to change your fuel filter with a brand new one like this. Let's get into the video. First things first, let's jump over to the passenger side here. Let's get down to the fender well. We need to remove this whole liner here. So in order to get this fender liner out of here, we're gonna need to grab a couple tools. And here's the couple tools that we're gonna need. You're gonna want like a little ratchet with a 7mm. This is a ratchet with a bit driver. So Phillips. A fastener removal tool right here. And then if you do not have one of these ratcheting bit drivers, you use this guy right here, which will be for the mud flap. As you can see, that fits in there quite nicely. And then last but not least, a tray. So let's get on to, you'll need to remove these 4 screws here in the mud flap. So this comes out. Then you have a plastic fastener here. You have one there. You have one right there. One right there. You have 2 right here. And then you have 4 7mm bolts right here on the outside. You can see in the mud flap, I just only undid the screws until the mud flap just came out. You don't need to take these all the way out. They can stay seated in the flap. Now that we've got these 7mm fasteners out and we got these Phillips fasteners out, we can now go ahead and remove these plastic fasteners. So all you do is you just snake under just like that, and you're gonna pull it out. This one is broken, so we'll need to replace that. So let me go ahead and show you again. So you just go right underneath and you just pull out the inner core and then go ahead and pull that guy out. Looking down, look just like that when you have it separated, and just go ahead and put it in there. And this, like I said, this one's broken. So we'll go ahead and replace this guy. Now at this point, your fender liner should just be falling down, so you can now start working this guy down. Because we just want enough space to actually get to this fuel filter. So go ahead and take your little tool, because you have this wiring harness that goes right into the liner. I like to take it out just because then I have a little bit more movability. Perfect. And there we are. Now you can see with the liner down, we have enough space to reach in, and you can see the bottom of the fuel filter here. Here is your water and fuel sensor right here. So now that we are in the spot where we can see the bottom, we need to jump top side and get access from the top of the fuel filter as well. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now top side here, go ahead and pop your hood open. Now with the hood open, what you want to do is you want to take a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to want to remove this worm gear clamp here and this one here, so we can pop this guy right on out. Now with these clamps undone, you should be able to just get on in here and just wiggle this off. Now it could be a little on the tight side. Yeah, that one was. Go ahead and wiggle it off. Wiggle it off here. So now with the intake pipe removed, you have access to your fuel filter head. You can see right here, I got from the Duramax store, this is a spacer head so that I may run this PPE fuel filter, because it is quite a bit longer than the factory one. And in order to install it, you have 2 bolts that you need to remove, this bolt and this bolt here. Let's see if I can, that bolt right there. And then this will relieve the filter head. So you just push it back, put this guy in here. You'll get 2 new bolts with the spacer head if you're going to put in the PPE, of course. So now that we have access from the top, let's go back down underneath. And right here, what you should be able to do is, so I'm going to unplug, I mean, you'll want to unplug it, but this is just a push-in tab. Come on. There we go. And then let's go ahead and twist this guy. Yep. It should only be hand tight. It might not be for you, but it should only be hand tight with a couple snuggas. Okay, you might get diesel in places, and that's okay. Carefully walk this guy on out. Come on. I want to make a mess here. Hold on, let me put you down. Now, a lot of you might not like this, but so this filter does not have a sensor in the bottom like the factory one. Is this okay? Absolutely. You will not get a light for that sensor not being plugged in. You will be good to go. So I'm going to be running this because this filters down to 2 microns, and 2 microns is basically everything. So we're going to be running this guy. This makes me a lot happier, makes me more confident with the fuel. So let's go ahead and get our 2 gaskets in place, and let's go ahead and get this guy installed. What the hell is going on here? Let me explain. I normally have lots of parts and many options for things, but so this cat filter was my original, this was my original plan, but it was leaking the whole time, and the adapter to the filter head was leaking the whole time. And so check this out. So this is the PPE filter I was trying to install, but as you can see, look at this right down here. You can see I'm starting to groove it. Why am I starting to groove that filter? Well, if you look, this bracket right here was actually touching the filter and cocking it out just a little bit, so it wasn't actually mating to the filter head. It wasn't mating nicely, so I was like, oh, I couldn't get this one originally when I did my lift pump video to actually work out, which if you're interested in the lift pump video, go ahead. I'll leave a video for you, but yeah, this was leaking. It doesn't leak now. This is going to always leak because it won't actually seat up properly. I would have liked to use the PPE, but I didn't have any carbide blades or anything like that. Well, carbide bits to actually kind of take care of that bracket. So next time I'll have that ready to go. But yeah, so I already had the filter. It's all ready to go. It's in. Now let's pretend that the PPE is in there. Let's jump up top and let's go through the priming procedure. Now, you probably need to prime it this way, but I don't because, like I said, I have the lift pump. So let's jump up top and let's, I guess, get done with this BS because, man, I'm over the whole fuel filter thing right now. Okay, I gotta cover one more thing. So you can see this is a D-Max spacer. So my thinking is the reason the PPE filter wasn't working is probably because the PPE head spacer has got to be just a tad bit wider. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I feel like I'm going crazy. If one of you has done this, I don't know why you'd be watching the video at this point though, but if you have, and for whatever reason you're watching this fuel filter video, can you tell me if it's wider, please? Because I feel like this is gonna make me crazy. So you'll wanna go ahead and prime this guy up. I'm gonna crack this bleeder. There we go. You see, that's squirting out. So you want to crack that and then plunge this guy here, and then you should be good to go. I've never really had to do it a whole lot. I mean, some of you might have a completely different time than I have, but normally I can just, you know, plunge this guy a few times and then this guy was ready to go, but I was also pre-filling the filters and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't need to do this part because I have the lift pump, which just, I mean, alleviates a lot of what I would say is stupid shit right there. So, okay, now we can start up the rig, give it a test, give it a whirl, and then go ahead and put that fender liner back in. Okay, I went ahead and put the intake back in place. I'm now going to, well, I'm going to double check again. I'm going to put it under pressure and just let it sit under pressure. Then I'm going to start it and let it run because I would like to confirm that it's not leaking. I want to be absolutely for sure because the fender liner, although is mildly inconvenient to remove to replace the filter, if I go ahead and make sure it's not leaking, well, I just go ahead and put that liner in before I know if it's leaking or not. I'm gonna be pissed when I gotta take it back out. So we're gonna confirm that it's not leaking first. Okay, after about 6-7 minutes, we can see that the filter doesn't look like it's leaking. Now, looking at it, one thing I don't like about this particular filter is it introduces 2 possible leak points. So what do I mean by that? Let me show you. So what I mean by this is if you look, the filter that meets the adapter and then the adapter that meets the fuel filter head, that's 2 O-rings, and those both can leak, or gaskets, I should say, that can leak. The PPE is only the one, and then the one internal filter, well, internal O-ring. So this is more of a possible leak point, but as long as it seals and it's filtering my fuel, I'm good. So let's go ahead and let's get the fender liner put back in. This can always be a little bit more on the frustrating side. What I like to end up doing is I actually like to take these 7mm fasteners here, and I actually like to put them in first, just kind of run them up with my fingers, because then it holds everything in place. It's the outer portion of it. These guys aren't that bad to throw in. Well, throw in by hand, I should say. There we are. Now we can go ahead and put in our plastic fasteners here. Yeah, so what you're gonna do is you push in this portion right here in first, and then you go ahead and push this in because it will then make this portion spread open and stay in place. With all the plastic fasteners now in place, the last thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and put our mud flap back into place. So, that's not bad. Save the best for last, I guess. And I like to start, make sure you guys can see, I guess is the first thing we need to make sure we're taking care of here. So I like to start this top one here first. And you can do this by hand. Because then it can just sit there and hang. And we go down lower here. And that's basically what you can do with all of them, is you can just run them in with your fingers real fast, just to make tightening with either your little stubby screwdriver or your ratcheting bit driver, either or. And that is how you change your fuel filter on your 2011 to 2016 Duramax with a factory style fuel filter head. If you have any other questions related to what we did today, go ahead and drop me a comment and I'll get back to you. Another thing is I would like to apologize for the 2 separate fuel filters here. I was not intending for the PPE to not fit. I genuinely didn't expect that to happen. So, got to do what you got to do. But I will see you guys all in the next video. Hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. So, later.